We're just going to start solving equations by solving one-step equations. So one-step equations mean you're just getting the variable alone and you only have to do one thing. So first thing you have to remember is opposite operations. So addition and subtraction go together, and then multiplication and division go together. So what that means is if you're adding to move it over, you want to subtract. If it's subtraction, you want to add. And then the same thing with multiplication and division. Do the other one to get rid of it. So for number one, I want to isolate this variable. So to get m alone, I have to get rid of this plus 12. So the opposite of addition would be subtraction. So to get rid of it, I want to subtract 12. You have to do it to both sides. When you do that, 12 minus 12, they cancel. I'm just left with m. And then 10 minus 12 is negative 2. And then once the variable's alone, you're done. For number two, I want to isolate this variable. So that means I have to get rid of this negative 9. So the opposite of minus is addition. So I have to add the 9 to both sides. Negative 9 plus 9 is 0. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7. And then you can rewrite it if you want with g on the other side if it bothers you that it's on the right-hand side. All right, for number three, when they are next to each other like this, so we want to isolate the y. When they're directly next to each other, this is multiplication. So this is really negative 7 times y. So to get rid of multiplication, you want to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 7. They cancel. And then negative 91 divided by negative 7 would be 13. You do that in your calculator. And then for the last one, this says a divided by 9 equals negative 4. So I want to get this a by itself. So the opposite of dividing by 9 would be to multiply by 9. So this is where a few people mess up. This is not 9 times 9. It's like 9 over 1 times a over 9. So technically this 9's on top and this 9's on bottom. So that's why they cancel, because one's on top and one's on bottom. Some people make it 81, but they go away. Cancel. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. And that's it. So just opposite operation, make sure you know which one it is, and move it to the other side. C's. All right. Now we're going to look at if you get a fraction. So how you get rid of a fraction. So over here in the left-hand column says to get rid of a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal. So what that is you basically flip the fraction. So for the first one, to get rid of this 2/3, I would multiply by 3/2. So see how I just flipped the 2 and the 3 around? So the 3's cancel, the 2's cancel, and then just make sure you multiply the other side by 3/2 as well. If you do this, I would do this in your calculator, and then all you got to do when you do it in your calculator is make sure you put parentheses around your fraction, or it's going to give you the absolute wrong answer. Have to put this in parentheses, or it will be the wrong answer. You should get 15. So let's try the next one. Multiply by flipping it. So 4 over 9, I'm going to multiply by 9 over 4, both sides. The 9's cancel, the 4's cancel. I'm left with W. Type it in your calculator with the fraction in parentheses. and you should get negative 18. All right, now we're going to look down at two-step equations. So for two-step equations, first thing you want to do is undo any addition or subtraction first, then do multiplication and division. You have to do it in that order or it's going to be difficult. So if you look at number 9, the first thing I have to undo is addition or subtraction. So I have to undo this plus 8 first. And the opposite of addition would be subtraction. So I'm going to subtract the 8 over. They cancel on the left. 50 minus 8 is 42. Then do the multiplication. So I still have 6 times x over here. So the opposite of multiplication would be division. So I got to divide by 6. They cancel. And I'm left with x equals 7. So for number 10, first thing I want to do is get rid of I'm trying to isolate this n. Remember, you're looking to get rid of everything around the n. First thing I want to get rid of is addition or subtraction. So I have minus 5 here. So the opposite of subtraction is addition. So I want to add it to both sides. They cancel over here. It equals 0. 11 plus 5 is 16. And then I want to get rid of this 2 times n by dividing by 2. They cancel, and I get n is 8. So number 11, I'm trying to get k alone. Got to get rid of this plus 9 before I can divide by negative 4. So the opposite of plus would be minus. 13 minus 9 is 4. And then even though this is minus 4, when there's a variable directly behind, it's still multiplication. So some people like to add this 4 over, but it's really negative 4 times k. Because if there's a variable right behind it, it's multiplication. So I really want to divide by negative 4. So I get negative 1 equals k. And then over here, I have 7 minus 3 times y. So I got to get this y alone. Now be careful. Once again, even though this is minus 3, there is a variable directly behind it, so that's multiplication. So really the 7, the one by itself, you always move the one without the variable first. So I have to move this 7 without the variable first. So since it's a positive 7, I need to subtract the 7. 34 minus 7 is 27. And then since it's negative 3 and there's a variable behind it, it's multiplication, so I want to divide by negative 3. So y would be negative 9.